I think too, a couple things. I love that at the early age you were sharing it with your friends and they gave you validation, because I think
Mhm.
early on we need that validation from the people in our lives that we trust and that help support us and kind of feed that goal in us. So that I think
Yeah.
validation can be important. Although I know that if we are deep down something we truly want, even without validation, we'll still find a way to do what we truly want to do. But also, when it comes to a story that we want to tell, just because we show it to someone and they maybe don't particularly click with that story doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad story. It just means maybe they're not the right audience.
Yes.
This is maybe a poor comparison, but I think of a Julia Child and her cookbook and how many, book places that they tried to get her cookbook and it wasn't the right audience. It got turned down, but then finally it landed in the right spot because it finally found the right audience. So
Yeah, and I think that's true about a lot of things in life. Like, it's not just about the thing itself. It's about
mhm.
timing. It's about
Yes.
context. It's about
Mhm.
so many things that are external from the thing, whether it's a piece of artwork or, it's a cookbook or whatever. Um, and it's a lot like, also, it's like, meeting the person that becomes your partner for life. I mean, I
True.
didn't meet my husband until I was in my 40s, my future husband until I was in my 40s either. And we've occasionally talked about, there was a brief period of time where his family might have moved to the same state I was living in, and
Oh
we
wow.
might have crossed paths. And oh, we could have met so much earlier. And I think to myself, not like that's not a guarantee that we would have clicked. I don't think that there's this one soulmate for life, and there's only one of them out there. And if you don't meet them, there's no other ones for you, right? Like, I very much believe that the person that you're supposed to be with, and not that they're somebody you're supposed to be with, but the person who is right for you
Mhm.
depends on who you are at that time. And we are all different people. Every single day, we are a different person who wakes up. So I don't know that we would have dated if we'd met in our 20s or even younger, right? I wasn't fully baked yet. Nobody's really fully baked when you
True.
hit 20 or 21 or 22, right? Like, I still
True.
like
We
I still
change.
need time in the so in terms of writing and artwork and all that other stuff is very contextual. And I think it's about, I wish I had kind of had that perspective. I don't know if you have to have years on you to understand that perspective truly, but if I could
Could
say
be.
anything to somebody who's an upcoming writer or who is nervous about getting their work out there, like, yes, you may have written something that is genuinely not good. That's possible. And that's why you need to revise it and fix it and all that. But for it to find a home with somebody else who is not emotionally involved in your well-being, like, who's not related to you, but who actually has to look at it as a business prospect, which is what a publisher does. That's a different kind of evaluation. And there's so many things that you can't control that go into that valuation, that you have to look at it as, like, just because this thing didn't get published now doesn't mean
Mhm.
it's not going to have a place in the future. And with my new book, Leave No Trace, remember that book I was telling you that I was writing in middle school and like handing out to my friends? Like,
Yeah.
that was that book, believe it or
There
not.
you go.
It wasn't the same book. There's a couple of key things that were very much involved in the book that I was writing in middle school that are still in Leave No Trace now. But I was different, the publishing industry was different, and that's why it had a place now. It just took a very long time and a lot of rewrites and a lot of changing to get to here. But I like to tell people that the book that doesn't work now doesn't mean it's not going to work 10 years, 20
Right.
years, 30 years down the road, right?
Right. It's basically the root system. You had the details, the roots of the story, but you had to maybe prune it back, revise, and then let it grow in a whole different direction.